Star Wars and big chasms. Specifically the ending of Return of the Jedi. Hi, how are you? So today I was thinking about the ending of Return of the Jedi. And I'm going to do a lot of Star Wars spoilers, so I assume that you have watched episodes 1 through 6, because I'm going to go back and forth. But I noticed, well, at the end of Return of the Jedi, Vader throws the Emperor down the shaft, right? The Emperor gets the shaft. And I was wondering, first of all, why would you have a shaft in your office as the Emperor, where there's the potential where you could accidentally fall down the thing? This particular shaft did have railings. In previous shafts, like in A New Hope, when Kenobi turns off the tractor beam, no railings. And so then some other stuff, where the Millennium Falcon is parked in the Death Star, there's the big hole with no railing, and lots of other things that don't have railings. But I got fascinated by the fact that the Emperor fell down a shaft, and foreshadowing clues to lead us to that point where the Emperor falls down the shaft. And okay, here's my point. My point is, there was a whole bunch of foreshadowing clues leading up to that. So when we watched A New Hope, which came out in 1977, so that was the first one, that's the first Star Wars movie, we saw Ben Kenobi turn off the tractor beam, and below him is this big long shaft. Okay, we see a shaft, and then, or a chasm. Let's go with chasm. That's a much better word. So the chasm is there, and we see that, and then Luke and Leia swing across a chasm, and there's other chasms that happen. In Empire Strikes Back, Luke loses his hand down the chasm, and then falls down the chasm. And then, of course, in Empire or Return of the Jedi, the Emperor falls down the chasm. And then in the Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu flies out the window and goes down. Not really a chasm, but outside he falls. And then, in The Phantom Menace, when when Ben Kenobi and what's his face, Qui-Gon are facing or battling Maul, and they're fighting in this huge electric room with chasms. Okay, there's all kinds of chasms throughout the series. And my point is that those chasms are foreshadowing clues. So we're seeing all these chasms, but there might be a reason we're seeing all these chasms. If there hadn't been chasms in the previous episodes, and there was only a chasm in the Emperor's throne room, we might be thinking, well, why was there a chasm? But we've been conditioned through all the movies that chasms are a regular thing. It's no big deal. Well, of course there was a chasm. There's chasms everywhere. Well, if you look at the Return of the Jedi in the exterior scene, you see that the Emperor's throne room is up on this giant spire on top of the Death Star. So when he falls down is basically the elevator shaft. But it's a chasm. So all those chasms that we saw in the previous movies prepare us and are foreshadowing clues to the Emperor's chasm where he dies. And I just kind of like, oh, they're foreshadowing clues all the way up. So anyway, that was mainly my point. And why would you have a chasm in your throne room? I don't really know, but then you realize that that's basically the elevator shaft. Although there could be an elevator without a chasm. And here's the funny thing, is that when the Emperor falls down his chasm, if you go back to the scene, I don't want to show it because I worry about copyright issues. But if you go back to Return of the Jedi and you look at the scene where the Emperor's falling down his chasm, you see that there's a walkway. There's about 50 feet down. There's a walkway that the Emperor could have fallen onto. If Vader had miscalculated his throw of the Emperor down the chasm, the Emperor could have fallen maybe 50 or 100 feet and landed on the walkway below and been just fine. But luckily, the Emperor missed the walkway and fell down the chasm. Now, why the Emperor couldn't have stopped himself from falling if he's all that powerful. I assume he's using the lightning. It really drains your energy, and you really don't have the powers to stop yourself from falling. And then he fell into, I guess, an energy thing? I don't know, it's not really explained. You just kind of go with it. Okay, that's how he died. But here's another interesting thing. Here's an interesting thing that I thought of. The foreshadowing clue of the Emperor falling down. So when Darth Vader, when Anakin turns and becomes Darth Vader, okay? So the Palpatine dude is fighting Mace Windu with laser or lightning, right? Okay, he's using his lightning, and then he tosses Mace Windu out the window after Anakin cuts off his hand. I think Mace Windu survives, by the way. That's my theory. Because I want him to come back. But he tosses him out the window. And I think Anakin sees this. Sees Palpatine toss Mace Windu out the window. And not only is he wanting to save Luke in Return of the Jedi, I think he also wants to get revenge on Palpatine for throwing Mace Windu out the window to his death. So he throws Palpatine down to his death. It's like... it's a little revenge. So Mace Windu falling to his death, which I don't think he died, is a foreshadowing clue to how the Emperor is going to die. Right there. There it is. What do you think? Is that an interesting theory? Because, hang on, we only see Palpatine, the Emperor, use his lightning on... Did he use his lightning when he fought Yoda? Did he? Oh yeah, he may have. Okay, that blows my theory. I was thinking that he only used it 2 times. He used it when he hurt Mace Windu, and he used it when he was hurting Luke. And if it was only those 2 times, it would be such an interesting parallel. But I think Anakin got back at Palpatine, not only to save Luke, but threw him down the chasm as revenge for hurling Mace Windu out the window. And that's interesting. It's a foreshadowing clue. I bet there's a lot of foreshadowing clues in the Star Wars movies. I did an interesting video, you may want to watch after this, a YouTube video about how there's holes in Star Wars. Star Wars is full of holes. Characters going in holes, out of holes, flying through holes, out of holes, and it's just interesting. But you can also look at all the chasms as foreshadowing clues, and all the other little foreshadowing clues that I might watch and try to do a video on. Anyway, I just wanted to point out the fact it was silly for the Emperor to have a chasm in his office, and also it's a foreshadowing clue of chasms preparing us for the final big chasm of the Emperor dying. So anyway, that's my thought today about Star Wars and chasms and foreshadowing clues. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right. See ya. Have a great week.